But my very first job after I left teaching, I hate to admit this, but I was there actually 3 weeks, and I just knew this was not it. And um, I remember laying in bed one night, and my eyes, honest to goodness, it was like 12:30 at night, and my eyes just woke, like burst open, and I said, "Oh my gosh, like I could quit this. I've never quit anything in my entire life." I remember like waking my husband up, and I'm like, I could quit. And he's like, yeah, you could. And it just had never occurred to me before that I could quit something. I felt like I had to just power through and be miserable, and I deserve it was liberating to think that I could quit.
I hate to say it, but
And
that
so
really is the teacher mindset, right? That it's like the educator
it was
mindset.
totally a teacher mindset, because I had already taught 25 years up until this point. And the only time I ever moved out of a job was because I was having a baby or because I was moving locations. It was never because I was quitting,
Mm-hmm.
So it had just never occurred to me that I didn't have to stay in this miserable job. And so I wrote a very nice letter, and I just said, this isn't a good fit. And I left it for the bus with my keys. And I said, I will be leaving today. And
Wow.
I had never done that before. And it was really amazing.
That's
So,
incredible. I love that you shared that story. I think that first time, that first moment where you realize you can walk away is so huge. And it's great that you had someone to talk to about it too, right? You could turn to your husband and be like, oh my goodness. I remember when I went through my first quitting experience, my buddy looks at me and he goes, I'm like, look, I was just told that I'm going to commit career suicide. He's like, how old are you? And I go, 23. He goes, yeah, don't worry. For the next 60 years, you'll never find another job. I was like,
yeah, right.
fair point, fair point. And like, so it is fascinating how like we're so in our heads. I was even talking to someone earlier today, and he was saying like, I'm in this job. I want to get out of it. They're not paying benefits. Like I'm in San Francisco. It's all these different things. It's not quite sustainable, and I'm going to burn out. And he goes, but I've got to make it to that year marker, right? I've got to make it to that year. Otherwise, what my whole career, I'm like, man, 3 months, right? It's you have control. You have, or is it 3 months or 3 weeks?
I was there 3 weeks.
3 weeks, even
Yeah,
better.
three
Like
weeks. Yeah.
that just because like companies, and this is a big thing that I'm trying to like really get people to understand with this podcast is like a company will hire someone and then the budget will change and they'll rescind the offer. They'll hire someone, COVID will happen, they'll furlough you. Like they're your family until the budget changes, right? And then
Right.
and then we as employees for some reason like we'll take a job, then get another offer a week later for like 10,000 more, 20,000 more and turn it down because we said yes to that role. And it always gets me because I'm like, oh, we have so much more power as employees than we think.
Right. And I think that I always was loyal. I still am loyal. I mean, I really am. And I think I have to always watch that I'm not so loyal, that I'm always at least kind of protecting my own well-being. And in that very first job, in that 3 weeks, it was not good.
Oh boy.
And I thought, I almost don't care if I'm penniless and on the street, but I'm not staying here. And I think you almost have to get to that place.
Yeah.
And then sadly, I've been at that place after that quit. Then I had my 5 years and 7 jobs. And
Mm-hmm.
that was just a huge time of growth for me. It was very, very difficult personally and psychologically. Somehow I managed to get through it. But you don't forget it, that's for sure.
Well, you don't forget it,
But
and
I
that's
will say, I never left emotional. You have to almost detach yourself from the emotion of that, and never burn any bridges. I never want to say, I would say that more than anything is you leave graciously and you leave gracefully. And I've never left anywhere where I think anyone could say anything negative.
Yeah, we
That's
don't
just
need to
me.
Jerry Maguire our way out of every
Yeah, that's not my personality anyway. So